Welcome to Starscope Report. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Jamie. We're here to unpack the latest Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and yes, those viral influencer scandals.
From the big screen surprises to social media storms, we really dig into the stories behind all that fame.
Okay, so picture this. Sirens wailing, a building ablaze, total chaos.
And inside, the fate of a fan favorite character is hanging by a thread. Then, an explosion. Silence.
For millions watching Fire Country, the screen just went dark. The shock, the waiting.
It was agonizing. And just like that, the heartbreak hit Hollywood, and that's where we start today.
Our mission is pretty clear. We're peeling back the layers on this TV death that, honestly, nobody really saw coming. Definitely not like this.
So look at the huge fan backlash that erupted and the kind of surprising explanations from the stars themselves.
And then we switch gears completely.
Yeah, totally. From fictional firefighters dealing with loss to a real-life music beef. Think a 20-year-old pop star versus an internet critic.
And the advice was basically to live a little, or more accurately, touch grass. It's quite the story.
So let's dive right into the main event, the headline that just shattered everything for Fire Country fans. The Season 4 premiere confirms Billy Burke's Vince Leone did not survive.
Devastating. This was the answer we were all waiting for. Dreading, maybe, after that massive Season 3 cliffhanger back in April.
No, yeah. Vince, Sharon, Walter Leone, all trapped in that fire at the memory care center, an explosion, and then nothing until the fall.
And the rumors started almost immediately after that finale. Word got out pretty fast that Billy Burke, who plays Vince, and Stephanie Arcila, Gabriela, were leaving before Season 4.
And the speculation was that Vince was likely the casualty from that explosion.
Well, the Season 4 premieres on October 17th made it official. Vince Leone, Cal Fire Battalion Chief, husband, father, just the rock of that Leone family.
Gone. And they didn't just say he died. The premiere actually showed his funeral.
Yeah, and according to the showrunner, Tia Napolitano, they went all out to make that funeral scene feel incredibly real, like gut-wrenchingly real.
You mentioned tears on set.
Genuine tears. Napolitano specifically highlighted Max Thieriot, who plays Bode, Vince's son. Apparently his eulogy felt so raw, so off the cuff.
Like a real funeral.
Exactly. She said it felt like an actual funeral.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about hitting script beats. It was about capturing that profound sense of loss.
And you can bet that feeling spilled right over to the audience. Online, it was instantaneous.
Oh, the reaction was huge. Fans were, heartbroken, angry, lots of accusations that the show was just going for shock value.
But the producers, Joan Rader and Tony Phelan, they pushed back on that. They said they really struggled with this decision.
They framed it as being writers first and foremost. Their argument was that they needed to create these lean-in moments.
Lean-in moments, right. What does that even mean in this context?
Well, they connected it to being true to the real stakes of firefighting. If your show is about people who risk their lives constantly.
At some point, someone central paying that ultimate price makes it feel more real, less like plot armor.
That seems to be the idea. They felt that avoiding that kind of loss would actually undermine the show's credibility about the dangers these characters face.
Okay, but let's connect this back to the other whispers that were going around. The budget cuts theory.
Right, that was definitely part of the fan reaction. The idea that killing off a major character, especially a veteran actor like Billy Burke, might have been driven more by, the bottom line than the storyline.
So how much of this was creative necessity versus maybe network pressure for a big, shocking event to keep viewers hooked? It's a tough line to walk.
It really is. And while the producers stress the real stakes angle, you can see why fans might be skeptical, especially when exits are framed around creative choices that also happen to potentially save money. They're tapping into that demand for authenticity. But authenticity can be brutal.
Absolutely brutal. Killing off a character like Vince Leone, it's a massive gamble. It could elevate the show or it could seriously alienate the core audience.
And speaking of alienation, the fan anger got so intense that another main cast member actually felt the need to jump into the fray and defend the show.
Okay, we've confirmed the death, the heartbreak is real, but the drama was just getting started. Up next, we're looking at that other major exit and the star who took on the angry fans directly. Stick with us, and hey, if you haven't already, maybe hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the rest of this.
Yeah, so this brings us to our next big headline, which popped up right after that premiere. Diane Farr tells angry fans, "We must show profound loss."
Diane Farr, who plays Sharon Leone, Vince's wife, now widow, she saw all that fan anger online.
She did, and just a couple of days after the premiere, October 19th, I think, she went on Instagram to directly address it. She acknowledged the fan anger, didn't shy away from it.
How did she frame her defense? Because that's tricky territory.
It was really interesting, actually. Kind of poignant, but also quite strategic. She basically flipped the script on the critics.
How so?
She said, look, I see your angry notes, I hear you. But then she posed a question. If we only ever show the risk of this job, week after week, but we never actually show the profound loss that can come with it, aren't we kind of skipping the deepest, most truthful part of what it means to portray firefighters?
That's a powerful point. It shifts it from the writers are cruel to the writers are trying to honor the reality of the service.
Exactly. And she made it personal, too. She mentioned sharing a photo from her own uncle's funeral. He was a firefighter with the showrunner.
Wow.
Yeah, it showed the scale of loss, how it impacts an entire community when someone dies in the line of duty. She was arguing that Vince's death wasn't just a plot twist. It was meant to reflect a real-world sacrifice.
And does she address the future, like how the show moves on from this?
She did. She promised fans that Vince's legacy, his presence, would absolutely be felt throughout season 4. His absence wouldn't just be forgotten. It would actually shape the stories moving forward.
Okay, so that addresses Vince. But he wasn't the only big departure announced. What about Gabriela Perez, played by Stephanie Arcila?
Right, she also exited as a main cast member. Thankfully, her character wasn't killed off. The storyline is that she left Edgewater to take a new job elsewhere.
How did Arcila react to leaving the show?
She said she was in complete shock when she got the news, which is understandable. But she also described it as, the nature of the industry. Sometimes these things happen.
And the fan reaction to her leaving, because that Bode-Gabriela relationship was huge.
She actually found the fan mourning really touching. She called it a big hug, saying it warmed her heart that the characters connected so deeply with viewers.
So what was the official creative reason for writing her out? Was that also about stake?
Interestingly, no. The producers, Rader and Phelan again, said Gabriela's exit was purely story-driven. They felt it was necessary to give her and Bode a pause.
A pause, like a break.
Yeah, exactly. A break so they could both kind of grow up a bit separately. They felt the relationship couldn't realistically progress with Bode still dealing with so much.
That actually tracks with where things left off, especially at her wedding in season 2, right?
Totally. That was such a pivotal moment for Bode, choosing her happiness, sitting down instead of objecting, even though, as the writers put it, it kills him. So this separation, while tough for fans, is framed as necessary character development for both of them.
And this sets up Bode's whole journey for season 4, now that he's out of 3 Rock.
Showrunner Napolitano said the big theme for this season is rising from the ashes and recovery.
Which makes sense after losing his dad and his love interest moving away, all while trying to rebuild his life.
And the stakes shift again here. It's less about immediate physical danger and more about the bureaucratic and personal struggle. Bode wants to become a professional firefighter, but that criminal record from 3 Rock is a massive hurdle.
Right. He needs to get his record expunged. That's not easy.
Not at all. It sets up this long, difficult, legal and personal battle. So the season is about recovery, yes, but also about him fighting tooth and nail to reclaim his future, his profession. It adds a different kind of weight to his story.
Okay, so from a beloved TV character, quite literally rising from the ashes, or at least trying to, we're about to jump into a completely different kind of heat. A young musician telling his critics to maybe get outside more. The drama in Hollywood and beyond, it just never stops. Stay tuned. We're diving into a celebrity feud you might not believe.
All right, let's shift from Cal Fire tragedy to social media warfare in the music world.
We're talking about the artist Somber now. Real name, Shane Michael Booth. He's about 20 years old.
And the headline that sparked this whole thing really says it all about modern internet drama. Pop star Somber labels fan criticism a skill issue after Washington, D.C. concert.
A skill issue? Okay, break this down. What happened?
So Somber had a concert in D.C. back on October 13th. Afterwards, a 25-year-old content creator posted this really scathing review.
Scathing how?
She called it one of the worst experiences, mainly complaining about the crowd being too many tweens and the artist relying on what she called brain rot jokes.
Brain rot jokes, like too online, too Gen Z meme culture?
Pretty much. She just found the whole vibe cringe. Too young, too internet-y for her taste.
And Somber didn't just ignore this.
Oh, absolutely not. He went straight to TikTok, posted a video response on October 19th, No publicist, no carefully worded statement, just him talking directly to the camera.
Okay, what was his defense? How do you counter too many tweens?
Well, he kind of weaponized the age gap. He
Yeah.
basically said, look, you're 25, I'm 20. What did you expect my audience to be like? Younger fans and my specific kind of online humor come with the territory.
And that's where the skill issue came in.
Yep. He literally said her failure to enjoy the show, given those circumstances, was a skill issue on her part.
Wow, that is some peak online clapback right there. It's like saying you just don't get it, and that's on you.
Exactly. It completely dismisses the criticism by framing it as the critic's own lack of understanding or inability to vibe with the culture, a perfect digital deflection.
Did he address the brain rot jokes part?
He did. He defended his humor, saying something like, anyone who knows me knows I've never uttered a serious word in my life. He also argued those jokes only made up like 5 minutes of the concert, implying she was blowing it out of proportion.
Okay, standard defense there. But did he stop there?
Nope. He then shifted to framing himself as the victim. He claimed her critique kicked off a massive body-shaming hate train against him online.
Turning the tables. From criticized artist to victim of online bullying.
Right. And his closing message was basically aimed at all critics who maybe don't understand his world. He sarcastically ran his hands over some fake grass in the video.
Oh no, don't say it.
And told the critic, and presumably others like her, to touch grass. His final line was something like, you guys need to find problematic people to hate on. I am just existing.
Okay, that is a masterclass in Gen Z internet defense strategy, maybe. It's fascinating how the line between performer and influencer is just gone now.
Totally gone. Artists aren't waiting for PR teams. They're using the language and platforms of their audience to engage directly, often dismissively, with any criticism.
It's actually a really interesting contrast to the Fire Country situation, isn't it?
How so?
Well, the Fire Country producers justified a really painful creative choice by appealing to the need for realistic stakes, honoring the profession. Somber is basically saying the stake is his reality, his authentic online persona.
Yeah, it's like the Fire Country team is saying we have to show tragedy because the job is tragic. Somber is saying you bought a ticket to my show, you get my vibe, brain rot and all. If you don't like it, that's a you problem.
Two totally different kinds of performance. Two totally different ways of handling audience expectations and criticism. One deals with fictional life and death, the other with online reputation and tween audiences.
But both show how intense the pressure is, right?
Yeah.
And how performers and creators feel this need to justify their choices directly to the public now, whether it's about depicting profound loss or defending meme jokes.
If you're finding these kinds of breakdowns fascinating, the twists and turns behind the scenes, definitely hit that subscribe button. We bring you these deep dives regularly.
Yeah, it really highlights this constant push and pull. What does the audience demand? Authenticity, escapism. And what are the creators willing or maybe even pressured to deliver?
It leaves you with a pretty interesting thought, doesn't it? When does entertainment need to reflect harsh realities, like Fire Country argues it must? And when is it okay for it to just be, well, fun, maybe chaotic, pure escapism, like Somber seems to champion? Where's that line?
That negotiation is always happening. It's sort of the core tension in a lot of pop culture today.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jamie and I uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks so much for tuning in with us.
And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.